But yeah, I've had a lot of questions, or one of the more common questions is doing like the map searches. Um, so both for CMAs and like, well, last week I had a really complex one, an agent, well, or an agent's client wanted, um, which was tricky. I just did it for her because I'm like, it'll be way too much to explain. But then I'm like, well, oh, I can do that in the text tech time. So, okay. And are you seeing my whole screen or just the window for Matrix? And you're muted.
I don't think it'll work through my computer. I don't have a mic on my computer, but I unmuted.
Oh, okay. Uh, okay. But yeah, can you see? Could you see my whole computer or just Matrix?
I
'Cause I'm
can see, yeah, your whole computer with your tabs at the top. And the whole
okay, but
matrix
can you
screen
see
is
like
on right now.
Outlook in the
Yep.
background?
Uh,
Okay.
no, no.
No? Okay. Um, yeah, I swear that before it just showed, when I did screen share, it showed just the one window, but it does have a line around it. So, okay. So, okay. So, yeah, for the map search, there's a lot of, ways you can limit stuff to like certain neighborhoods. A common thing I see people asking about is their client wants this neighborhood, but only east of I-5 or west of I-5, because that's the better area. So you'd start just going to general search. And for map search, I use for all the area stuff like county, community, most of the time you don't even need to use that. And you could actually end up negating stuff and then you don't get any results. I see that. So it's generally best to leave that blank and just go, do, price range. So we'll do 500 to million. We'll say 3 bedrooms. And then from there, just go to the map. And most of the time it's going to say there's way too much and show you just these. So we'll zoom in. So let's do Northgate. So your tools at the top. If you're doing a CMA, generally you're going to do radius searches. And for that, you'll jump to the address. Avenue East. And then you're going to click draw radius and click just to the side so you don't actually trigger the pop-up for that address. And you can go out, the line in the middle or for the diameter will tell you how far you're going. I usually do about a mile to start off with. And then you can zoom out if needed to see that whole area. And if you click, move your mouse until you get the little dot that you can see there and click again. You drag just a little bit, it'll show you where you're at. So you do 1 mile. But like I said, I-5 is often a thing people, want one side or the other. So using the polygon, you can actually exclude stuff. And you just click on your start point, and then basically you're clicking on each corner. That's where people tend to get kind of lost. And then to finish it, you have to go to your start point and click there. Now you see it pops up with a few options. If we do exclude this shape, so it's now going to search a 1 mile radius, but only on the east side of I-5. And, which in this example, for example, we've got a couple lakes here. We don't want waterfront properties. So we just want to exclude that area. And you'll see all those icons disappeared. And if we go to results, it's just going to show what was on the right-hand side. And you can always go back to the map and adjust. Like make this bigger. You didn't get enough results. Which with a CMA, that's if you have something kind of unique, you often have to do a larger radius. Or worst case scenario, do like different sizes, different number of bedrooms, and then adjust for that in your final numbers. So, you'd say like, let's say your comp's 2-bedroom, your listing's 3 bedrooms. You're going to say, well, we take the price of the 2-bedroom, we add 10,000 for another bedroom. That kind of depends on the area and price range you're working with, but 10,000 is about average, for an extra bedroom. So if you just want, let me clear this.
So Chris, when you go to the results tab, can you filter from there, or do you got to go back to the criteria tab and set that up first? And will this map that you've drawn be saved?
Yeah, the map is saved as long as you stay on this page. But you can go back to criteria. So let's say I didn't find enough, I could do 2 through 3 bedrooms. And then I go back and I should have a few more results. So yeah, I think a couple more actives popped in there. Especially this must be
I don't know if this, okay. I don't know if there's a delay in anything, but the view that I see has just stayed on the map view. So I don't know if you switched back to criteria, made some changes, just to let you know. Nothing changed from my view of what I see on your screen.
Okay. Did it change now?
No.
Okay.
Oh, now you zoomed in just a tad.
Oh, yeah, it seems like there's a delay.
Okay. Yep, now it's on the criteria tab.
Okay. So, yeah, does it show 2 through 3 bedrooms now?
Okay, yep.
Okay, so it looks like you're caught up on there. Yeah, one of the fun things of Zooming and online meetings in general is sometimes there's delays.
Right. Okay, so in this case, then now, for example, if you got a whole bunch of results that came in, could you change it like, okay, now I really just want 3 bedrooms. So then could you delete this or change it to just be 3, and then your results will keep that map area?
Yeah, the map area will stay here until you leave the search page completely. So if I go back here, there were 19 results. I'll delete the 2 bedrooms. And then go back to the map, and now it's showing 17. So usually on a CMA, you usually want a few extras just so you can find like the 3 or 4 that most match what you're trying to sell, what you're trying to figure out a price for. Um, and, ideally they should be, I didn't do it on my search, but normally you'd be doing solds and just solds and pendings for a CMA. That brought up a ton. So this is a situation where, okay, I got way too many to sort through. I'm going to make my radius smaller. And now I'm down to 15. And so at this point, you can go to the results and look through each one and see, how comparable it actually is. And also you'll run across flukes where something was like just ridiculously overpriced or underpriced because of condition, because of the seller. So those you probably generally leave out. And then this, we could actually even go in tighter if we wanted. I just picked an address I knew in Seattle, so just to get in that area. So do you have any other questions on, a CMA type search? Okay. So I'm going to clear this search. I can leave that, but I want to clear our markers. And so that's the eraser icon. Now we're back to where we originally were. So I'm going to do the one search I got asked about last week, which was an interesting one, which was we had an agent, her buyer wants Camino Island, but only along the shoreline. So with that, you start with a polygon, and we'll just go all the way around Camino Island. Doesn't have to be exact. And then we did a second polygon. On the inside, a little ways from the shoreline. And a lot of times you can use the existing listings as kind of a guide. We left that. Then we hit exclude. So now all we have is stuff close to the shoreline. And this is one, she was actually doing it for an auto email. So we were doing active listings. And then for the auto email, we do save down in the white menu at the bottom, and new auto email. And I'm working as Pat. We have I should have switched that, but I'll just put myself in. Let me see if I can switch. No, I can't switch teams, unfortunately. Yes. So this is our email that it'll show what an invite email where they have to click a link to say, yes, I want this agent to send me listings. And then after that, you just have to approve them. And they'll get, email just the ones you've approved. And then one thing, if you're doing this for an existing client, on the yellow column here, it'll say whether or not it'll say never if you've never emailed that listing to them. So you know if you've already sent it to them and they decided not to go with that one. If you have emailed them, it'll show the date that you emailed them. So if it's been quite a while and like there's been a price reduction or something, you might want to send it again. So on here, you would just check all of them. Since we just got 2, you can uncheck ones. If you go through and see, oh, I really don't like that one, or they wouldn't like that one, you can uncheck them. And then once you're done, you click Approve Selected. If there's any remaining ones, you can check those and reject them so that you won't see them again, and neither will your client. Do you have any questions on that? And then Desiree, you can also, I got the chat window open in full screen.
Okay.
So if you want to just chat in there too, you can.
Yeah, sorry. And I think
Nope, you cut out.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Sorry, I think it's the muting and unmuting from my logged in profile versus calling in on my phone. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I did have a question. Thank you. So my question is, you saved this as a auto search for your client. Is the system going to send you the properties that meet those criteria first, so then you can go through like you did and select the ones that you actually want to send to them, or is the system just going to send it to them on an ongoing basis, weekly or everyday kind of basis, without you first approving?
So you can set it up either way. By default, it does what's called Concierge Mode. So you'll get an email saying there's new matches for this search for this client. And also when you log into Matrix, it'll have a yellow bar at the top saying there's new matches. And you can just click on that to go to the approvals. So it'll show you all the listings and you check which ones you want to send them and then hit approve. And then after that, you can just hit select all and hit reject. to get rid of ones you don't want to send them, and then they'll disappear from the
Okay.
list.
That's
Now,
right.
if you uncheck the concierge mode when you first set it up, let me go to auto emails. Just settings. So in here, it's got concierge. So if I uncheck that, it's going to send everything to the client.
Okay.
And most agents prefer to look at them first and send them. The only time I can think of where people did just do the direct to client was like with investors that are just looking for rental property, so they're not as picky as a regular client. So if you do make any changes, remember to hit save. You can also, from My Matrix and auto emails, when you click on it, you can change the criteria. Let's say they realize, oh, $1 million is that I don't really want to pay that much. You can change it to 900 and then hit save, and then it'll bring you back to here. And it always has save, go to approvals, even if it didn't find anything. But there's nothing that hasn't already been sent, so there's nothing there. Just click done. And then, since I accidentally did this under, I'm logged in the Pat Lord team, since I'm staff, I'm going to show you how to delete an auto email, which you go to My Matrix, auto emails, then click on the one you want to get rid of, because let's say they already bought it, they finally bought a house, you don't need this anymore. You can hit delete auto email, and it'll remove it. If for some reason they didn't get that first email where they have approved receiving listings, resend welcome, we'll send that to them again for approval. And then if you click on results, you can actually see what has and hasn't been emailed to them. So here now it says it was emailed today to me from Pat, since I'm in her account, or working as her. So for deleting that, since Pat doesn't need that in there, hit OK, and then that one's gone. And now that I can, I'll switch to myself. So did you have any other questions on that? And then actually one thing that has changed, just the look of it, recent searches, they made it a little more obvious, but it works different. So like I can actually go back to, oh. There we go. Back to that search I was at. So that's also useful if you accidentally close your window in the middle of a search, you can go back to it.
Okay.
And then since it's just a one-on-one this time, I was gonna say, if you have any other questions, technology-wise or about the websites, feel free to ask.
Yeah. So I think my phone got muted earlier. So when you did the first search prior to this one, and I'm trying to think. So then you got your list of, oh yes, I'm trying to remember what my question was now. So it came up with like 17 homes, right? And
Right.
and you're flipping through them and like, okay, here are my top 5 that I think are comps. Is there a way to save those 5 like onto your dashboard or something like that? Or I don't know, how do you save those so you can come back to them later, put them in your CMA or whatever you want to do? Is there a way to save them, highlight them somehow?
Yeah, so I went back to that search. So if you're doing a CMA in Matrix, you would actually just check the ones you want. So I'll just click a few of them here. And then you click CMA. So notes. And then you go through your pages. So I'll do a cover sheet. I recommend not using the Pro. That's many, many pages for each, for it. So it tends to get really long, and that's more than your seller is going to go through.
Okay.
So then we'll do summary, and then we want to have a map showing where all of them are. And then static is stock content they have. So things, importance of pricing is a big one you should probably include. Pitfalls of overpricing. I would recommend do one with, play around with this, do one, put in all the pages.
Okay.
And then you can look and see, read, at the end, you can just create a PDF and read it, and then go back and take out anything you don't want. And then at that point, hit set as default. So then every time you do a CMA from now on, it's going to use these pages automatically.
Okay.
And then if you want to change, like let's say we want to put these at the beginning, the up and down arrows allow you to move the order. And then X obviously is delete it. So from here, you just kind of go through your tabs at the top. If you have an old listing number, you can just autofill it from there. I just picked what was still in my history. And then cover page, you can enter in the property address. If it didn't have a picture or wasn't in the MLS before, you can upload a picture if you have one.
Okay.
On the comparables tab,
May, for that address, like you just typed in an address, like this is the property that that would be but that would be the old MLS. So for example, if that was, right, so I have a seller, they want to sell their home, but maybe it's been sold in the past. Is that what you're saying? That's the old MLS number?
right.
Okay.
But that allows it to bring in all the data automatically and the main photo.
Okay. Gotcha.
So some agents will, even if they haven't met the client yet, will go and, especially if it's not that far, we'll just drive by the property to take a look at from the outside and get some idea of the condition. And they'll just snap a picture at that point.
Okay.
And then when you go to the comparables, it will actually, if you picked your subject property using an MLS number, it'll show it in here. As you can see, this was a canceled listing.
Okay.
So we're kind of pretending we're relisting this one.
Yeah.
And then
that's actually the one that I'm listing.
what was that?
That's actually the one that I'm going to be listing very soon. So Brenda was helping me on that. That she logged in and and
Okay,
pulled that
yeah,
up.
you must have asked me about something. Like I said, I just picked it for my history. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
um, then on the map, you can, come on, Matrix being a little slow. So yeah, that one I picked isn't close to where we were, but you can see how it maps everything out.
Yep.
And then you hit finish. That's good. I hit save. And down here, you can just view the CMA to take a look at it. And it'll take a minute to generate it. So here's the static, what most people call stock content with charts and stuff.
Okay, it's
And then,
still like a screen that says generating CMA.
okay, yeah, it'll probably take a second to catch up.
Okay. Okay. Comparative market analysis.
Okay, I'm just gonna scroll through the pages, and I'll tell you things, the price range, a chart of the days on market. Then you have a summary, which the summary is the most useful for you because that will tell you what the median price and the average price was. So when you're pricing a home, you can, kind of start at the average and then say, okay, is this listing better condition than that, or better features than the average comps, or is it lower? Is there, maintenance that hasn't been done, and then adjust the price accordingly. So this is good. It's good for your seller, but it's also, this one page is good for you for, estimating the price. And then the map just kind of shows where all the comps were from, so they know it's stuff around their neighborhood. And then once you're done, we can close that. And then if everything's good, you can click email CMA and email it straight to the client.
Awesome.
So that's one of the advantages of using the MLS one. We also have Toolkit CMA, which is it's a much fancier one, but what you have to do, instead of going to CMA, if I go back to our search, so instead of doing save, you would do export. And then the company name for Toolkit CMA is Realty Tools. And then you just click export. And it's going to download a zip file of the data and the main photos for each comp. And then for actually creating this Toolkit CMA one, that'll be a different class to go through the setup on that. It's similar options, but you have more control on, especially on your defaults. You can create a default cover letter, default resume, a lot of different pages where you can, it comes with stock text, but you can rewrite it or completely replace it if you want to create your own personalized version. So that'll be a class in and of itself.
Alrighty.
And then the one other thing where you might do it slightly differently when using with the MLS CMA. Let's say we go through it and then we're like, well, I think I need more comps. So to add more to an existing CMA, let me change the search here. Let's say I want a bigger radius. Not quite so big. leave stuff cut out on that side. What you need to do is go to create a cart. So you click on carts. New cart, and then comps for A, and then I'm going to add that to me as a client. And I click add to cart.
So you're now getting a wider radius so that as new
Correct.
comps come up, is that what you're doing?
That's correct.
Okay.
And then, yeah, once you create, if you already have a cart for the client, you can just add them to that. If you don't, you want to do a new cart, choose the client and then add the listings. So now I go up to the top, do my matrix, CMAs, then I'll click on this and go to edit. On the comparables tab, you've got add from cart as an option. So if I click add from cart, I guess I didn't expand that enough. But yeah, you click add from cart, select the cart, and then you can choose listings to add, additional listings to add to your CMA.
Okay.
That's the one thing that throws people off when they'll do it, and then when they're actually looking at the CMA, they're like, oh, I really need to find some better ones or more of them, and then they're like, okay, how do I add more to this existing list? And that you have to use the carts for that.
Okay.
And then remember, once you're done, always hit the save button. These, if I remember correctly, save. If you don't touch it at all, it'll save for, I think it was 6 months. And same on the toolkit, same.
Okay.
So did you have any other questions on that?
Yeah, so if this is just our one-on-one time and it's not going to be recorded and sent out, maybe this portion, so that property in Harbor Point, Mukilteo. So I was trying to search for homes that were either recently sold or pending within a certain radius of that. And I had heard that there was another unit that had gone on sale. I didn't get like a MLS number or anything or an address, but when I was just trying to search, I couldn't find it. So maybe it wasn't there, but I did have a hard time. Maybe I just need to learn a better way to search, either based on an address or an area.
Yeah. What I can do, I'll show you another way to do radius since we actually have the listing number.
Okay.
So yeah, if you have a listing number, there's kind of a shortcut for doing the radius search. So I just, if you double click on a number or a single word, it'll highlight that. And then you can do Control-C
Okay.
or right click to copy. So let's go back. That. I'm just going to go back to a new search.
Sorry, and it's slow. It's still like on
Is
the
it?
original
Okay.
listing.
Okay. Yeah, I just went to new general search.
Okay,
And
there
let
it
me
is.
know when it catches up.
Yep, it did.
Okay.
And I see you
So
sold.
yeah, so I checked sold, and then where it says map search on the main details page,
Yep.
You can pay if you have a listing number from like a canceled lit or expired listing, or just previous listing. You can put the listing number in there, and you can actually pick. Okay, I want half a mile.
Uh-huh.
And then if we go to the map, boom, it's already drawn the shape for you.
Oh, okay.
And then if you want to go even smaller, just to kind of get just that complex mainly. So we're still at 16. Condos are a little tricky because you can have so many sales in one place. But let's go to results. Do you know when that one sold? How long ago?
So I guess it went into pending. So that's why I was searching. I searched like selected all the pendings, the options for that, and it didn't come up. Or pending or active. I think I put pending and active.
Okay. Well, I checked contingent and all the pendings, and only 2 more popped up. Let me sort stat date. Well, the last pending it was March 28th. One went pending.
Okay, I think it's the one that's a 2-bedroom, 2 1/4 for 405. Maybe that's the one. The third item, the third one.
Yeah, this one it sold about a week ago. So
yeah, I think that may be the one that somebody said, hey, yeah, there's another one that just sold in the complex, and I was like, okay, let me go find it. Couldn't find it. Maybe because it was 2 bedrooms, and
that's possible.
I think I put it search 2 to 3 bedrooms, because you mentioned like when you're searching, like sometimes I feel like if I put in too many criteria, then I don't get any results, and I like, okay, I need to just do less.
Yeah,
even
generally
though I narrow it down.
Yeah. If you get 0 results, you need to remove criteria to make stuff appear. And then also double check for conflicts. Like as an example, the other day, I made a mistake where I clicked on one thing because I was just kind of showing it as an example, and I clicked on a city or a county. And then I went to the map search and started searching exactly what they were looking for, which happened to be a different county. So nothing came up.
Oh. Okay.
Because I was saying, find this area, this radius in Snohomish County, but then I've got like King County selected. So it's trying to find listings that are in King County in the specific part of Snohomish County, which they can't exist. So you get 0. So that's another potential issue if you have something like from an old search still selected.
Okay. And then another question, Chris. So now, okay, I've got this list here, and this is now maybe not kind of like for a comp, but I want to like maybe refer back to a handful of these that came up, whatever handful you want to select, whether they're pending or sold. Is there a way for me to save those just so that I can quickly go back to those ones and not save this whole list of 18? I don't want to put into
that's the main purpose of having the carts.
Okay.
So you can, create a new cart. So I'll just call this one Desiree. And then I'll just pick a different one. So if you normally create your client here, if they're not in there, hit save.
Okay.
So now I can check. I'll check just the 3-bedroom ones here, the first few. And then when I hit add to cart, might take a second with the delay, but it now shows 3 in here.
Okay, I see that.
So now, if I go up to my matrix and my carts, there's the Desiree cart. Click on results. There's just those three.
Gotcha. Perfect. Okay.
So that's something, and then if you're not ready to do the CMA yet, but you want to look at comps, this is a place you can store
Correct.
them and then just add them to the CMA once you start on that. Yeah, I've heard a few agents where their client they're kind of asking, oh, what's it worth now? Maybe I'll sell if it's worth enough. So you don't want to do the full CMA over and over and over. But yeah, this is just doing this as a handy one. Quick, really quick CMA.
Okay. Perfect. Yes.
Okay.